Thank you for watching this video abstract for the article Violence, Control and Restraint: The Harms to Young Adults, Particularly Upon Transition. My name is Dr Jayne Price. The transition into the young adult and adult estate at age 18 years is marked by a significant loss of provision and shift in institutional treatment. This is due to the stark differences in perceptions of the needs and vulnerability of children and adults within the youth justice system and adult criminal justice system. As such, independent inspections and reviews by Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons, Lord Toby Harris with the Harris Review Panel, and the House of Commons Justice Committee have highlighted the detrimental experience of incarceration for young adults as a distinct population whose needs are frequently overlooked. The article focuses on one of the many harms endured which is neglected in transitions guidance but prevailing in the young adult and adult estate: restraint. The guidance for transfer upon turning age 18 years acknowledges that moving between child and adult institutions and services signifies numerous deprivations of support, including fewer staffing. There is less on a focus upon the distinct needs and support required for this population who are likely to have had adverse childhood experiences. They also continue to develop neurologically, which has implications upon their behaviour and reasoning. This is frequently overlooked in institutional practices, including restraint, and they are found to be overrepresented in violence, restraint, and disciplinary statistics. Within the young adult and adult estate, restraint guidance follows control and restraint, or C&R, which, although follows rhetoric similar to MMPR used in the youth custodial estate, i.e. used only as a last resort, utilises markedly different techniques. For example, staff can use batons and parva in exceptional circumstances. 2 FOI requests submitted for this article revealed that adults are overrepresented within the use of parva incapacient spray and batons. This article draws on interview data collated for a research project that interviewed 14 young people pre and post transition, along with stakeholders working within and outside of institutions who had a vested interest in this area. The young people recognised the constant threat and habitual violence ingrained within institutions. Those interviewed were apprehensive of violence prior to their transition and conscious that violence would be punished with much harsher circumstances within the young adult and adult estate. They accepted distinct changes in institutional constructions of controls required for them as a population. The introduction of batons and parva was seen to be necessary for security reasons. Key stakeholders working outside of institutions were aware of the implications of restraint upon young adults, particularly those drawn from previously traumatic circumstances, calling it state-sponsored abuse. Staff members working within institutions recognised that for young people who transferred from the youth custodial estate, restraint procedures were markedly different and found to be shocking, scary and akin to assault. However, techniques of neutralisation were evident, as officers acknowledged moral concerns about restraint practices inflicted within the young adult and adult estate, but stated it was legally correct. The findings from the paper demonstrate that notions of vulnerability are lost upon acquisition of adult status at age 18 years. Restraint is used for control and punishment, which reinforces violence, and the reasons behind certain behaviours are overlooked. Its practice is damaging and harmful. The data presented here shows how the distinct needs of this vulnerable population are widely overlooked. The article extends the literature regarding young adults and argues that there should be greater exploration an understanding of their behaviour and the impacts upon transitions. This in turn leads to recommendations for changes to practices within the young adult and adult estate.